I would just like to say thank you to the following people for joining my Patreon. You have made it possible for me to create and share this video with everyone today. Hello everybody, welcome back. Before we start, I want to let you know that I don't make anything on my videos from YouTube. So, if you do like my content, please consider supporting me via Patreon. I have lots more new stories and videos on the way, some of which will only be available to those who support me there. My Patreon link is below this video in the description. Also, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And hit the bell icon if you would like to get updates on my new videos, and leave a comment or ask me a question, and I promise to reply as soon as I can. Thank you, and now back to the video. Today we have the second part of our story, about a boy who grew up to become a girl. If you haven't listened to part 1, please check that out first before continuing. Now we follow David as Natasha takes him under her wing and introduces him to everything female. This story is called How I Became a Woman, Part 2. My first time in public. I hope you like it. I was excited but scared at the same time. I really wanted to, but no one had ever seen me dressed as a girl. She had seen me on her laptop, but not in real life. She stood there looking at me. I could tell by looking at her that she was trying to decide what to do with me, and that this was going to happen whether I liked it or not. "Now let's get you dressed up like a real girl," she said. Then she gave me a bra, panties, and heels. "This is what you were missing before. Basics first to look like a real lady," she said with a smile. In around 15 minutes, I was standing there in a beautiful red dress and heels. Natasha had also dressed up in this really cute black dress. She looked so beautiful. She grabbed my hand and led me over to the mirror. We stood together and looked into it. "Now you're starting to look like a real girl," she said. "Let's see, we still have time," she said. Then she asked me to sit down and she quickly combed out my hair and put some rollers in it. "If we are going to do this, David, we might as well do it right." Once my hair was up, she started on my face with makeup. She was obviously way better at doing makeup than me, and she made me feel very special as she took her time to put it on my face. I looked into the mirror and I could not believe it. I looked totally like a girl. "Wow, no one would ever know you were a guy," Natasha said as she looked back at me in the mirror. "Now we are ready for dinner," she said, grabbing my hand and leading me back into her living room. We had a wonderful dinner together, and we sat around late into the night talking and laughing. We became even closer that night, not just best friends, but there was a bond between us. She knew my deepest secret and was more than okay with it. I didn't know it then, but she had embraced it and had plans to help me become the woman I was inside. We started to meet up regularly like this on her nights off, and we had a blast. It was about a month later when I was over at her apartment and we were all dressed up. We both had on these really cute black cocktail dresses and 4-inch high heels. Our makeup was done perfectly, and I was feeling fabulous. Then she said to me, "You look so awesome tonight. It is really a shame to stay home." I was shocked when she said this. I have never gone out dressed, and I never thought I would. I had often thought about it, but it was just a dream. I didn't have the confidence to go out in public. Natasha held my hand and said, "Don't be afraid, all girls like yourself have to take the first steps outside sometime. If you don't, you will regret it one day." I knew she was right, and I knew I looked like a girl. No one would know, and with Natasha's support, I knew I would be able to do this. I said okay, and we left her apartment. This was the first time I had ever been dressed outside, and I felt very nervous and scared. But I had Natasha by my side, and she made me feel much more confident. We walked down the hallway and went down to the car park and got into her car. "Let's go for dinner at the Paris Hotel Casino where I work," she said. I agreed, and then we set off. I was feeling much better once I was in the car, but as we reached our destination, this all changed. I could feel my heart beating very fast, and I felt like I was going to faint. I didn't feel ready to walk into the casino. What if someone realized? What if I was found out? "Don't worry," Natasha told me. "I will be with you, and you have nothing to fear." Also, as I am not 21 yet, I was scared if I would be stopped and asked for identity. I didn't want to be found out that way. I would be so embarrassed. But once we walked into the casino, all my fears drifted away. I felt very confident, and I started to enjoy being out in public. We ended up having a wonderful dinner together, and after we were finished, Natasha asked me if I wanted to go into the casino. I said yes, and we made our way over there. I had never seen so many men turn their heads and stare my way. At first I felt intimidated, but then I relaxed and realized they were actually attracted to me. It wasn't until Natasha ran into a couple of her female coworkers that I got really scared again. She just smiled and introduced me as Julie, her friend from high school. With that, I was accepted as just another pretty girl. The four of us hung out together the rest of the night, and no one had the slightest clue I wasn't a girl. We stayed out until the early hours of the morning before heading home. I asked Natasha who Julie was, and all she said was a friend from high school that she had lost touch with. We got in the habit of going out on a regular basis, and I met some more of her friends. Every time I went out, I was accepted, and my small size was really a blessing now. Also, Natasha and me grew closer and started to become more like sisters. I was also becoming more attracted to her, and I decided to keep this a secret, just in case she didn't feel the same. Thank you for listening to my story. If you like my content, please consider supporting me via my Patreon. The link is below this video in the description. Also, if you like my stories, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And hit the bell icon if you would like to get updates on my new videos, and leave a comment or ask me a question, and I promise to reply as soon as I can. Thank you, and until next time, goodbye.